beloved chosen one, pause for a moment and breathe. Heaven has waited for this exact moment to reach you. You didn't stumble upon these words by chance. This is a divine appointment. Something happened last night, didn't it? You might have brushed it off as just another sleepless night, but deep inside, your spirit felt it. The heaviness in the air, the sudden unease in your chest, the way your dreams twisted into confusion. It was not random. It was an attack. They did it again. The unseen ones who gather in the shadows, speaking your name with envy, crafting schemes wrapped in darkness. But listen closely. God saw it all. Nothing hidden from heaven escapes his gaze. The moment they lifted their hand against your peace, the angels were already dispatched. You were never alone. You were never without defense. Last night, as the clock passed midnight, you may have felt waves of restlessness, a tug in your spirit to pray without knowing why. That wasn't anxiety, it was a divine alarm. The heavens were moving, the battle was already unfolding, and your name was being defended in realms you cannot see. Do you know why these attacks keep coming? Because your light disturbs the darkness. Your very existence challenges the agenda of those who thrive in shadows. You carry something eternal, a flame not born of this world. And every time you rise, every time you refuse to bow to despair, hell trembles. You've been through cycles of strange warfare, people suddenly turning cold, opportunities collapsing without reason, sudden exhaustion that steals your energy right before breakthroughs. These are not coincidences, this is targeted interference. But the Lord says tonight, enough. Heaven has drawn a line around you, and that line glows with divine fire. As you read this, the Spirit of God is bearing witness in your heart. You can feel it. This message is not entertainment, it's revelation. Heaven wants you to know that you were never meant to fight in your own strength. You have been covered by something ancient, something sacred, the covenant of the chosen. Every dart thrown at you last night failed before it reached its target. You woke up not by routine, but by mercy, that pain in your spirit. It was the residue of warfare you survived in your sleep, and yet you rose, breathing, watching, aware that something supernatural is shifting around you. Let this truth settle deep within. No weapon formed against you will ever prosper. Their words, their rituals, their whispers, they crumble against divine authority. You don't need to retaliate. You need only to stand firm, because heaven has already spoken your protection into existence. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication is from me, says the Lord. So now, lift your head, straighten your shoulders. You are not under attack, you are under assignment. What the enemy intended as destruction, God will use as demonstration. You were chosen for visibility, for impact, for transformation. The warfare was never proof of weakness, it was confirmation of calling. Even now, heaven whispers, do not fear what the night brings. I have surrounded you with light. I have sealed you by name. I have marked you as mine. You are stepping into a season where exposure comes swiftly. Those who mocked you will soon watch God elevate you. The same voices that conspired in secret will hear your name announced in divine favor. The one they tried to bury is the one heaven is about to crown. Take courage, chosen one. Heaven is not only watching, it is moving. The plans formed in darkness last night have been overturned this morning. The fire around you burns brighter than their schemes. Every closed door, every delayed promise, every silent night, it's all turning into proof that you were never forsaken. Now, as you stand in this revelation, Do not let fear or bitterness take root. Instead, give thanks for divine protection. You may not have seen the angels standing guard, but they were there. You may not have heard the clash in the spirit, but the sound of victory already echoed through eternity. You are covered, you are chosen, and your story is not ending here, it's just beginning. If this word resonates with you, if your spirit feels that deep stirring, don't scroll past. Heaven orchestrated this very moment so you could receive it. Take a step of faith like this message. Share it to awaken another chosen one who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and together we'll stand as light bearers in this dark world. And finally, as a prophetic act of alignment, go to the comments and write this number 777 as a declaration that you are divinely protected, perfectly sealed, and fully aware that heaven fights for you. You felt it in your spirit, didn't you? That sudden shift that came without warning, the tightness in your chest, the strange silence that lingered even after the night faded. The world around you may not have noticed anything unusual, but deep within, your spirit knew something moved. It wasn't mere emotion, it was spiritual sensitivity. You are not ordinary, and your discernment isn't random. The truth is, your spirit always perceives before your eyes can understand. You felt the storm long before the clouds gathered. That uneasiness you carried through the day, the feeling that something unseen was pressing in it, was heaven's signal that the unseen realm was stirring again. Every chosen one feels it. The higher your calling, the deeper your sensitivity. And when the darkness moves, the light inside you reacts. The world may label it anxiety, overthinking, or mood swings, but heaven calls it spiritual awareness. You were not built to sleep through warfare, you were built to sense it, intercept it, and overcome it. The restlessness that gripped you wasn't punishment, it was protection. Heaven was alerting you that the atmosphere had shifted. Somewhere in the unseen, your name had been mentioned again, but you didn't fall apart. You endured the night. You felt the pressure and yet refused to bow to fear. That alone is proof of who you are, a warrior of light disguised as a quiet soul. Many who are chosen go through silent nights like this. They don't always have the words to explain what they feel. Friends may think they're simply tired or withdrawn. But you know the truth. There are moments when the spirit world seems to lean closer, when your soul trembles not from weakness but from awareness. Every tear you shed in confusion became a signal to heaven. Every time you whispered, "God, I don't know why I feel this way," angels took notice. They don't just respond to words, they respond to faith under pressure. You didn't need a loud prayer. Your endurance became intercession. Do you realize what that means? It means that even in silence, you were heard. Even when you didn't have strength to speak, heaven was translating your groans into warfare. Every moment of inner tension was heaven saying, "Stay alert, my child. I'm doing something in the unseen." That's why you can't shake off the sensitivity. You were made for discernment. When others laugh at what's spiritual, you feel the tremor in the air. When others sleep comfortably, you wake at the strangest hours with the urge to pray. That's not superstition, that's divine timing. You were designed to perceive when others ignore. Heaven allows this awareness not to torment you, but to train you. You are learning to move by the Spirit, not by sight. The nights of unease are shaping your perception, refining your hearing, tuning your heart to heaven's frequency. One day you'll understand why you had to feel so much. It's because you were chosen to protect what others can't see. And when the pressure feels unbearable, remember this truth: what you sense is never stronger than the one who lives within you. Darkness trembles not because of your fear, but because of your faith. The moment you realize that the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in you, You stop being afraid of what moves in the dark. You begin to stand as one who commands it to flee. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Every time you feel that strange heaviness, remind yourself it's because your light is active. Darkness does not visit empty vessels, it only reacts to those who carry power. You are not cursed for feeling deeply. You are trusted. God gives spiritual sensitivity only to those He can trust to pray, not panic. So do not despise your sensitivity. Don't apologize for feeling what others ignore. The world needs your awareness. Heaven needs your alertness. You stand as a silent watchtower between realms, holding the line when others are asleep. And though you may never receive applause for this kind of strength, heaven records every moment. Your sensitivity is not your weakness. It's your weapon. The same intuition that once confused you will become the very radar that helps you navigate every trap. You are not crazy. You are not too emotional. You are chosen, spiritually awake, and heaven-tuned. Let the world sleep through the signs. You, chosen one, will always sense the shift before it comes. And because of that, you'll always be one step ahead of the darkness that tries to reach you. And when the next wave of heaviness tries to touch you, pause and breathe. Remember who you are. You are light wrapped in flesh, guarded by heaven's fire, and no shadow can outlast the dawn that lives within you. Let peace return to your chest now. What you felt was not the end, but an awakening. Heaven is teaching you to recognize divine movement so you can rise stronger, wiser, and ready for the battles still unseen. They gathered in secret again, the ones who operate in the shadows, who whisper when the righteous sleep. It was not random. Chosen one. Their envy has matured into strategy. They met under false unity, smiles on their faces, poison in their words, discussing how to slow your rising light. They believe that if they can delay you, they can diminish you. But heaven interrupts their meetings before their schemes can take root. Every chosen one experiences this, the invisible gatherings, the spiritual sabotage, the sudden storm that arrives without warning. You can feel when they speak your name, can't you? The air tightens, your spirit stirs, your dreams grow heavy. Yet, even then, you do not collapse. Why? Because you carry the authority of divine election. Their gathering means nothing against the decree written over you. Do you know why they gather? Because you've stepped into visibility. Your obedience has become light, and light always exposes darkness. You don't even have to speak, your existence convicts. The moment you said yes to your calling, you became a threat to every hidden agenda. They can sense your ascension even when you haven't seen it yet. They speak lies, but they cannot undo what heaven has already written. They exchange strategies, but none of them succeed because you are surrounded by divine intelligence. Angels stand guard at the borders of your destiny. Every word spoken against you becomes the rope that binds its speaker. Every curse sent toward you reverses by divine law. And even now, as you read this, heaven whispers, do not fear their gatherings, fear only losing focus. Because your purpose is not to wrestle with flesh and blood, but with powers and principalities that tremble at the name you carry. Your weapon is not vengeance, it is prayer, purity, and perseverance. When they gather, God laughs. The meeting they hold in darkness becomes a stage for His glory. He takes their whisper and turns it into your testimony. He takes their plan for your fall and transforms it into a platform for your rise. They cannot understand how the same pit they dig for you becomes the grave for their intentions. The truth is, their gatherings are a sign of your growing influence. No one plots against the insignificant. The resistance confirms that you are essential. Every attempt to hinder you has already failed by design. Heaven is always 10 steps ahead, rearranging circumstances so that even betrayal becomes blessing. You have been wondering why the same cycles repeat: betrayal, jealousy, isolation. It's because the spirit behind them never learns. The enemy keeps sending familiar patterns, hoping you'll break before breakthrough. But this time, you are not falling for it. You are awake now. You've seen too much of God's faithfulness to retreat. So let them talk, let them plan, let them whisper your name in the dark. What they do not realize is that every time they mention you, they trigger heaven's remembrance. God turns their murmurs into an alarm of favor. The more they gather, the more the Spirit gathers blessings around you. Do not return to fear. You've already outgrown the need to defend yourself. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. The enemy expects reaction, not restraint. But your restraint invites divine retaliation. You win by stillness, by confidence, by letting heaven fight battles too deep for human understanding. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 2, "When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell." That verse is your confirmation tonight. Every scheme built in the dark collapses before sunrise. The tables are turning even now. The traps they've set for you are being disarmed one by one. Where they spoke curses, heaven speaks blessing. Where they gathered for harm, heaven gathers for justice. You are not fragile, you are fortified. You are not being attacked because you're weak, but because you're carrying something powerful. Their meetings prove your movement. Their opposition proves your anointing. You are the evidence that light still wins. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, type this short declaration below: I stand firm. Do not just type it out of habit, type it as covenant. When you write it, you're declaring to heaven and to every watching spirit that you refuse to bow, retreat, or fear. You stand firm in your calling, firm in your faith, firm in your divine assignment. And as you do, the same light that covers you will begin to silence every voice that dared to rise against you. When you write, I stand firm, you are not typing words, you are testifying. You are saying, though darkness gathers, I remain unshaken. It is your spiritual signature, marking your faith as immovable, your confidence anchored in divine authority. Each letter becomes a shield, each word a declaration that heaven records. I stand firm means you will not bend to fear, delay, or deception. You are rooted in purpose, sustained by grace, and grounded in victory that cannot be stolen by any earthly or spiritual force. Heaven's interruption came quietly, yet powerfully. The moment their dark intentions reached a boiling point, the hand of God descended like lightning through invisible realms. You didn't see it, but something shifted. Plans that were nearly sealed crumbled midair. Conversations turned to confusion. What was meant to block you was suddenly dismantled before it could touch you. That's what divine intervention looks like: unannounced, unstoppable, undeniable. It doesn't need your permission to act. It moves the instant your destiny is threatened. The world calls it coincidence. The chosen call it protection. You were not spared because you were lucky, you were spared because you were marked. Heaven stepped in last night, when you felt the tension fade for no reason, when peace suddenly replaced panic. That was the evidence. The angels of the Lord had already intercepted what was meant to harm you. There are moments when God doesn't explain himself, he simply acts. You may never know how close you came to destruction, and that's mercy too. The darkness believed it had the advantage. It saw your exhaustion, your silence, your hesitation, and mistook it for weakness. But just as the enemy leaned in, heaven breathed one word: enough. And instantly, the plan fell apart. What they built for months collapsed in minutes. The divine interruption changed the entire script. Every chosen one knows this pattern, the sudden reversal that feels supernatural, the mysterious escape that defies logic. It's not because you prayed the perfect prayer or made the perfect move. It's because grace outruns intention. God doesn't wait for your perfection to protect you. He intervenes because His covenant over you cannot be broken. You were saved from things you never even knew existed. People's plots that never reached your ears. Accidents you narrowly missed. Words spoken against you that lost power before you heard them. Heaven intercepted it all. The same God who commands storms to stop has been commanding unseen winds to shift on your behalf. Sometimes divine interruption doesn't look like victory, it looks like delay, rejection, or loss. But what you call disappointment, heaven calls redirection. You weren't denied, you were preserved. God saw something you didn't and blocked your path to protect your future. That sudden no was mercy disguised. Think about it, how many times did you almost go back to something that would have destroyed you? How many times did the door slam, only for you to find out later it was a trap? That's what heaven's interruption looks like, closed doors that lead to open destinies. There's a reason they couldn't reach you. There's a reason you're still standing after so many unseen storms. The covering around you isn't ordinary, it's royal. It's the seal of someone chosen, someone preserved for divine timing. God doesn't waste His interruptions. Every time He steps in, He secures another piece of your purpose. Sometimes He interrupts your plans not because they're wrong, but because they're too small. What you thought was the destination was just preparation. Heaven's timeline is larger than your understanding. That's why the divine often feels like delay. It's not denial. It's calibration. Even your silence is part of His strategy. While you wait, He fights. While you rest, He rearranges. While you wonder why nothing's happening, He's already turning the enemy's words into the foundation of your testimony. Divine interruption means heaven has taken control of your story's pacing. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 5, "Look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded, for I will work a work in your days which you would not believe, though it were told you." That's what heaven is doing right now. A work you wouldn't believe even if someone described it. Something greater than your eyes can yet see. What seemed like a sudden stop is the beginning of something strategic. You were not paused. You were repositioned. The interference wasn't random, it was divine recalibration. Heaven interrupted to preserve your clarity. Sometimes it removes people. Sometimes it delays opportunities. And sometimes it silences you so you can hear better. Either way, you're being fine-tuned for the moment everything aligns. And when that moment comes, the same people who gathered against you will witness your rise. They'll wonder how you escaped the web they spun, but you'll know heaven intervened. So walk with calm confidence. You don't need to fear interruptions anymore. You don't need to panic when plans collapse. When heaven interrupts, it means something powerful is about to begin. Every delay hides divine preparation. Every redirection carries secret mercy. You are being guided, protected, and preserved by an intelligence far greater than your own. Let heaven lead you through the pauses and the detours. They are all part of the choreography of your destiny. And when the next interruption arrives, don't resist it, recognize it. It is heaven adjusting your path, not punishing you. What feels like a pause is a prophecy in motion, positioning you for blessings that require perfect timing and divine coordination beyond human understanding. You were never defenseless, chosen one. Even when you felt surrounded, even when you thought the darkness was closing in, you were covered. What you could not see was more powerful than what you could feel. The presence that stood beside you in silence was not absence. It was divine protection taking form. There are moments when the battle becomes invisible. You stop hearing noise, but something still presses against your peace. That's when heaven stands between you and what was meant to break you. You are protected not just by prayer, but by purpose. Purpose itself is a shield. When God calls you to something, He builds an invisible wall around that calling. When they sent arrows, they never reached your core. When they released words, they bounced off your name, because the Lord said, "Touch not my anointed." That decree still echoes through the unseen. It means that even when you walk through dark places, the light follows and the enemy loses direction. There's a story unfolding around you that you don't fully see. You've been rescued more times than you can count. A car that didn't hit you. A decision that suddenly changed. A delay that frustrated you, only to reveal later that it saved you. These are not coincidences, they are evidence of covering. You have to understand, heaven has a surveillance system that never blinks. The moment something threatens you, angels are dispatched like lightning across realms. You might think you're small or unnoticed, but heaven's resources move for you as if you were the only soul on earth. And sometimes, protection doesn't feel like comfort. It feels like isolation. God separates you so you won't be contaminated by what was sent to harm you. You may not always see the angels, but they are there, standing watch at the edges of your journey, guarding promises yet to unfold. You might not have known this, but your endurance itself is proof of protection. Weakness would have destroyed you long ago if you weren't being strengthened by something supernatural. The very fact that you can still hope, still believe, still rise, that is armor. The chosen are never defenseless because they are made of divine resilience. According to what is revealed in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "For He shall give His angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways." That promise is alive over your life. When you travel, when you sleep, when you move through your days unaware, heaven's army accompanies you. You are never unguarded. You are a moving fortress of divine intention. So lift your head, chosen one. Stop seeing yourself as fragile. You are heaven's investment on earth. You've been preserved for a mission that only your spirit can complete. Every battle you've survived has trained your discernment. Every season of loss has sharpened your hearing. You are being equipped for greater ground. And if this message speaks to your soul, if something in you feels seen, protected, and remembered, I want you to know you're part of a much larger movement of light. You're not walking this path alone. Thousands of others like you are awakening, realizing that they too have been preserved for this divine season. When you like, share, or subscribe, it's more than a click, it's an echo of faith. It's the sound of your light joining others across the earth. Think of it like lighting another candle in a long corridor of souls, each flame awakening the next. And for those whose hearts are stirred to go deeper, listen, this is not pressure, not condition, not demand. Think of it as pouring a drop of oil into the lamp that once guided you. When you donate, you're not giving to a person, you're giving to the continuation of light. Your seed becomes fuel for the message that keeps weary hearts alive. Your offering, however small, is sacred. It's the feather that helps another wing lift. When you support, you're extending the same grace that once reached you. Heaven sees generosity as worship, not payment. So, if you feel led, like, share, subscribe, or give as your heart desires, then let it be voluntary, pure, and peaceful. No pressure, no price tag, only love in motion. Every act of kindness, every gesture of support becomes a whisper of gratitude back to the God who protected you. Because in the end, giving is not loss, it's echo. What leaves your hand returns multiplied in unseen ways. The oil you pour today lights the path for someone walking through the same dark you once faced. You are covered, chosen one. You are defended, provided for, and destined to overflow. Heaven's protection is your inheritance, and your generosity, whether in action or spirit, becomes heaven's reflection through you. And when you give, even silently, heaven records it loudly. Every act of kindness ripples through eternity like light upon water. You're not funding words, you're fueling transformation, keeping the flame alive for every heart still searching for the same divine shelter you found. The mark on your name glows brighter than you realize. In the spirit realm, it burns like a seal of divine ownership, clear, radiant, untouchable. That's why darkness cannot rest until it tries to dim it. You were marked not by accident but by assignment. Before your birth, heaven etched your identity into eternity's record, and every angel knows who you are. You've probably wondered why you attract resistance even when your intentions are pure. Why envy follows your peace. Why people who once loved your light suddenly withdraw when it grows stronger. It's because your presence disturbs anything that hides behind shadows. You carry revelation, and revelation exposes what pretends to be righteous. You are not marked to fit in. You are marked to stand out. That glow on your name signals heaven's approval and the enemy's alarm. You may feel misunderstood, but you are identified in realms unseen. The chosen carry a fragrance that darkness cannot mimic nor tolerate. This mark does not fade when you fall. It is not revoked when you stumble. God's claim over your life isn't based on performance, it's written in promise. Even when you drift, heaven recognizes you. The mark still shines through the dust. You've walked through battles that others couldn't survive because your mark spoke for you when your words could not. It declared ownership. This one belongs to heaven. That's why death couldn't hold you, why heartbreak didn't shatter you, and why failure could never erase you. Many have tried to copy what you carry, but imitation cannot replace divine identity. Your oil was costly. It came from crushing tears and endless nights of faith. You are not just known by heaven, you are feared by hell. The mark on your name is both your defense and your calling card. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. People may not understand why they feel peace, conviction, or discomfort near you, but heaven does. You are a walking reminder that God still chooses ordinary people to reveal extraordinary power. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 9. This observance will be for you like a sign on your hand and a reminder on your forehead that the law of the Lord is to be on your lips. The mark is not visible to human eyes, yet it shines in the spirit like fire across darkness. It is the reason the enemy can't fully reach you. Every time an attack rises, it recognizes the seal and hesitates. That hesitation is heaven's signature, an invisible force field that repels destruction. But the mark also carries responsibility. To be chosen means to be visible in both realms. When heaven marks you, hell marks you too, not to own you, but to observe. It watches, hoping you'll forget who you are. It waits for weariness to make you doubt your anointing. But when you remember your mark, every watcher trembles. That's why you must guard your energy, protect your peace. Don't explain your glow to those committed to misunderstanding it. Not everyone deserves access to your oil. You were not chosen to convince, only to carry. There will be times when you feel alone, but that isolation is proof of elevation. Heaven hides its treasures before revealing them. The mark makes you different, and difference often feels like loneliness. But in that quiet space, your mark burns brighter, unseen but unstoppable. So the next time you sense spiritual resistance, don't panic, recognize it. It's not the enemy winning. It's your mark shining too brightly to ignore. Every challenge is confirmation that the light within you is expanding its reach. And when the weight feels heavy, whisper this truth: I am marked for glory. Because you are. And no curse, and no betrayal, no delay can erase what God Himself has engraved upon you. If this word resonates deep within, if something in you stirs with that holy reminder of identity, go to the comments and type 888. This is not superstition, it's symbolic agreement. 8 is the number of new beginnings. 3 8s declare divine cycles completing and fresh seasons unfolding. When you type 888, you're not performing an act of habit, you're declaring, my identity is sealed, and my new beginning has begun. When you write 888, you echo heaven's rhythm: completion, renewal, resurrection. It means the old cycles are breaking, and grace is rewriting your story. You're stepping into divine freshness where every delay transforms into acceleration under the hand of God. Each 8 carries meaning. The first ends pain, the second restores strength, the third opens destiny. Together they declare wholeness. 888 is not a number, it's a spiritual seal. Heaven's whisper saying, begin again, this time with power. Patterns of interference often hide in plain sight. They come not as thunder, but as repetition, a familiar fatigue, a wave of distraction, a voice that whispers doubt just when you start to rise. The enemy rarely invents new tactics. He repeats old ones until you recognize the pattern and break it. Look back over your life, chosen one. How many times has breakthrough seemed just a step away, only for confusion or exhaustion to arrive suddenly? How many moments of peace were followed by sudden chaos, arguments, or unexpected fear? That is not coincidence, it's interference. But the power to end it has always been within you. You see, the enemy studies behavior but cannot read destiny. He doesn't know the details of your promise, he only sees the patterns that lead you closer to it. So, when you begin to walk in obedience, the interference begins. Its goal is to wear you down, to make you doubt the progress you've already made. It begins subtly. A strange heaviness lingers in your mornings. Motivation fades. You start questioning everything you once felt sure about. This is not random fatigue, it's resistance. Every time light begins to expand, darkness reacts. You're not regressing. You're entering the next level of warfare. But the wise learn to discern these cycles. The chosen don't run from patterns, they read them. When you see interference repeating, it's an invitation to rise differently. You can't fight this season the way you fought the last. You must shift from reaction to recognition. The first step to victory is awareness. Recognize the triggers that keep appearing, the same emotional traps, the same draining conversations, the same sudden confusion that clouds your clarity. Every repeated disruption is a coded message, heaven showing you what to close, who to distance from, and which doors to guard. Interference is the enemy's last weapon before your next level. It cannot destroy your purpose. It can only delay it. Its real aim is to exhaust your faith until you surrender the promise prematurely. But not this time. This time, you will notice the pattern and refuse the bait. Some interference comes through people who don't even know they're being used. They bring subtle chaos, emotional heaviness, and distraction disguised as companionship. You don't need to hate them, just discern the spirit behind the pattern. Love them. But step aside when your peace begins to fade. And then there are internal patterns, the self-sabotage, the doubts that replay old failures. These are mental echoes from past seasons that try to infiltrate your new one. But you've grown wiser now. You've learned that interference loses power when you stop engaging it emotionally. You don't have to wrestle with every shadow. Sometimes you just have to stop feeding it. According to the writings of the Apostle in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." That scripture is your reminder that interference is not fought with panic but with preparation. Armor yourself in awareness, prayer, and peace. Every time you remain calm in chaos, you disarm its intent. Every time you refuse to argue, you frustrate darkness. Understand this: the repetition of interference is proof that you're close to breakthrough. Hell doesn't waste energy on those going nowhere. The sudden attacks before dawn, the emotional roller coasters, the unexplained anxiety, they all mean something, and the spirit is about to break open. Interference increases when promotion draws near. Don't let fatigue rewrite your faith. Don't interpret delay as denial. Sometimes heaven allows the pattern to repeat so you'll finally stop reacting and start reigning. The goal isn't to survive cycles, it's to end them. And the ending begins with understanding. Once you discern the interference, it loses its mystery. You start seeing where it enters through distraction, through doubt, through emotional noise. You begin closing those doors one by one, and the moment you do, peace floods in like sunlight through a broken storm. The same pattern that once drained you becomes your teacher. You realize every interference carried revelation. It showed you where your boundaries needed strength and where your focus needed healing. You stop feeling attacked and start feeling equipped. Remember, God is not surprised by the interference. He uses it as training. Every time you stand firm, the unseen realm shifts. Angels record your endurance, and heaven recalculates the strategy to push you forward faster than before. So take a deep breath. Don't rush the process of awareness. Every repeated storm holds a lesson, and every lesson unlocks greater authority. You're not stuck. You're being sharpened. The patterns are not punishment. They're preparation. Let this truth settle within you tonight. Once you identify interference, it can no longer manipulate you. Awareness is freedom. Discernment is defense. And peace is proof that you've already won. Heaven's message of exposure has begun. What was hidden is being revealed. The masks are slipping, and the truth that once whispered in the background is now roaring in plain sight. You may have wondered for years why certain things didn't add up, why betrayal came from familiar faces, why opportunities collapsed without clear reason. Now the unveiling begins, not to shame anyone, but to vindicate the chosen. Exposure is not punishment, it is justice. When heaven declares enough, it means mercy has stepped back to allow truth to speak. Those who operated in deceit will find their words unraveling. Those who built reputations on manipulation will watch their own foundations crumble. The season of pretending is over. The era of revealing has started. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You will see things you didn't want to see, faces you trusted, motives you never suspected. But remember, exposure is never to destroy you, it's to free you. Truth may sting at first, but it always heals. Lies, on the other hand, soothe for a moment yet poison the soul for years. Heaven is cleansing the atmosphere around your life. You have prayed for peace, and God is answering, but peace often requires removal. When light exposes, darkness resists, but it cannot hide. The same people who once laughed behind your back will now be confronted by their own reflection. The same voices that doubted your calling will soon confess they felt threatened by it. You won't need to defend yourself anymore. Heaven's exposure speaks louder than any explanation. There is a shift taking place in the spiritual climate. Hidden conversations are surfacing. Deceptive alliances are cracking. The fog that once surrounded your path is lifting. This is divine clarity. The season where manipulation could move unnoticed has expired. Heaven is making examples out of situations that once oppressed the faithful. But be wise. Exposure also comes with responsibility. When truth is revealed, do not gloat, rise in grace. The goal is not revenge, it is revelation. What is being uncovered is not for gossip, but for growth. When God reveals, it's so you can realign, not retaliate. It will shock you how certain people appear different once truth shines on them. The charming tone that once deceived you will suddenly sound hollow. The loyalty that seemed unshakable will show cracks. Don't mourn what's leaving. Celebrate what's being purified. You prayed for discernment, now you're living inside its answer. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. This is the divine law of exposure. Time cannot silence truth. Eventually light wins. And this moment, this very season, is that unveiling. The spiritual fog is clearing not because you fought harder, but because heaven declared that the time for clarity has arrived. You will soon notice patterns shifting around you, relationships thinning, plans realigning, old temptations losing their pull. These are not losses, they are divine recalibrations. The truth doesn't just reveal others, it reveals you to yourself. The more you walk in honesty with God, the less room deception finds to cling to you. Every unveiling refines your discernment. Every disappointment that follows exposure becomes wisdom you carry into the next season. What you learn now will guard you later, and what is leaving your life is being replaced with authenticity. Exposure is not just about people, it's about systems, environments, and habits. Heaven is shining light on the things that drained you quietly. It's showing where your energy leaked, where your focus scattered, and where your peace was silently traded. This is your restoration through revelation, you will wake up one day soon and realize how light you feel. The heaviness that once followed you will vanish. The conversations that once consumed you will feel meaningless. You will understand why God had to expose what He did, because truth was the only way to set you free. So, embrace the light even when it reveals uncomfortable things. It is better to be healed by truth than harmed by illusion. Heaven exposes only what it intends to heal. This exposure is your exodus, your escape from hidden bondage. And though it may feel like loss, it is actually release. The curtain is falling on deception, and what stands when the dust settles will be pure, strong, and stable. You're not losing people, you're gaining peace. You're not being embarrassed, you're being elevated. Trust this season. Chosen one, the God who allowed the exposure will protect your heart through it. He is not revealing to humiliate you, but to liberate you from counterfeit connections. When it's over, you'll see that every revelation was an act of mercy, preparing you for a cleaner, clearer, and higher chapter. Heaven's eyes have been watching everything. Chosen one, every whispered word, every hidden motive, every silent act done in the dark, it has all been recorded in the spiritual archives. Nothing escapes divine surveillance. What people thought was secret has been stored in eternity's evidence room. And now the court of heaven is in session. You may have felt forgotten when injustice happened, when lies went unchecked, when cruelty was met with applause. But heaven was not silent, it was observing, documenting, preparing. Divine justice moves slowly only because it moves thoroughly. The moment has come for exposure to be followed by judgment. not the human kind, but the holy kind that restores balance where chaos reigned. There is a shift happening right now in unseen realms. The scales are being adjusted. What was taken from you unjustly is being weighed again, and the decree is about to change in your favor. Heaven has reviewed the case. Your name, your pain, your sleepless nights, they've been presented as evidence before the throne. Those who mocked your sincerity will soon see that sincerity is your greatest weapon. Those who mistook your silence for weakness will soon learn that stillness is power when God defends you. This is not about revenge. It's about restoration. Heaven is simply correcting what was distorted. The tables are turning quietly but powerfully. You don't need to fight or explain yourself anymore. Divine surveillance means divine defense. The truth will not only come out, it will stand on your behalf. Every tongue that rose against you will stumble over its own deceit. Every false accusation will return to sender wrapped in conviction. When heaven judges, it doesn't destroy to humiliate. It exposes to heal. The same people who sowed confusion will now be confronted with clarity. The ones who plotted harm will see their own nets entangle them. Justice may seem delayed, but it is never denied. The ancient words recorded in the book of Proverbs from chapter 15, verse 3, remind us the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Heaven has seen you choosing peace when you could have chosen vengeance. It has seen you bless those who cursed you. Forgive when bitterness called your name. These actions were not unnoticed. They were evidence of righteousness. And righteousness always receives a response. In this season, the divine court is issuing decrees in your favor. Wrong doors are being closed with finality. False alliances are dissolving. The very ground that rejected you is now shifting to honor you. You are not being repaid for your tears. You are being recompensed for your endurance. Understand this when heaven brings justice. It doesn't just settle accounts, it restores reputation. Your name, once dragged through misunderstanding, will now shine with vindication. God will cause even those who opposed you to witness your rising. You may feel the tension in the air right now, a strange stillness, a divine hush. That's the silence before the sentence. Heaven is about to speak, and when it does, no human power can overturn what has been decreed. You will walk freely, knowing that righteousness has finally answered your pain. The evidence is clear. The watchers have testified. The scales have balanced. What belongs to you is being returned, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing with divine precision. Every injustice has an expiration date, and that date has arrived. And when you begin to see the reversal's doors reopening, peace returning, relationships healing, remember to stay humble. This victory isn't proof that you were better. It's proof that you stayed faithful. Now, as a sign of agreement with heaven's justice, go to the comments and type "Justice comes." Do it not as an act of anger, but as declaration. When you write it, you're affirming that divine truth prevails, that no lie outlives its exposure, and that heaven's verdict is final. You're saying, I trust the process. I trust God's timing. I trust His fairness. Because in the end, chosen one, justice doesn't come to destroy, it comes to deliver. And what is being delivered to you now is peace after storm, clarity after confusion, and joy after judgment. When you write "Justice comes," you are aligning your voice with heaven's verdict. You're declaring that divine truth outruns deceit, that every hidden wrong meets its correction, and that your heart remains clean while God handles what you cannot. Each word carries weight. Justice comes means you release revenge and choose peace. It means you believe that heaven's balance is perfect even when human fairness fails. It's faith spoken aloud, a sacred surrender wrapped in courage. Let it be your decree today. You are done chasing explanations. Justice is already on the move. Speak it, believe it, and let peace crown your waiting. Your pain was never wasted. Chosen one, every tear, every heartbreak, every lonely night, it all carried weight in heaven. What you thought was breaking you was actually shaping you. The pressure that once crushed your heart was the same force God used to mold your spirit. You were never being destroyed, you were being refined. Sometimes divine preparation looks like suffering. Gold must endure fire before it shines. Seeds must break before they grow. And you, yes, you had to be crushed in spirit so that oil could flow from your soul. Every sleepless night, every silent cry became part of the anointing you now carry. You may not have realized it, but the very battles that tried to end you were the classrooms of heaven. Each wound taught wisdom. Each loss taught discernment. Each delay taught endurance. Nothing was wasted. Every pain was prophetic training. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. You were chosen to endure what others could not so that you could speak to pain with authority. That's why you feel deeply, love deeply, forgive deeply. You learned compassion in the school of heartbreak. You learned faith in the valley of disappointment. You learned patience where others would have given up. There were nights when you asked, "Why me?" Heaven's response was, "Because I can trust you with the weight of this." The crushing was never cruelty, it was confidence. God trusted you enough to let you carry the lessons that others avoided. And though it hurt, look at you now, wiser, softer, stronger. The enemy hoped pain would silence you, but it only purified your voice. The very tears that fell into your pillow became prayers that shifted the atmosphere. Every sigh was heard, every ache was counted. You thought you were forgotten, but you were being forged. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. That means nothing, absolutely nothing, was wasted. The betrayal became your building block. The rejection became your redirection. The heartbreak became holy ground. You were walking through fire, but heaven was weaving a masterpiece through the flames. So don't despise your story. Don't hide your scars. Scars don't disqualify you, they verify you. They prove that pain met grace and grace won. When others see your wounds, they will recognize that survival is possible. You become living evidence that brokenness can still birth beauty. If this message is resonating in your spirit, take a deep breath and let gratitude rise. You are not where you started. You've walked through valleys, but you didn't stay there. You are walking proof that God turns ashes into crowns. And if you feel moved, like this message, share it and subscribe, not as an act of support alone, but as a prophetic gesture of gratitude. Think of it as planting a flag on sacred ground, saying, "I've made it through the fire, and I'm not ashamed to shine." And for those whose hearts stir deeper, listen carefully. This is not demand, not transaction, not pressure. It's an invitation. When you donate, you're not paying for a message, you're watering a garden that once watered you. Think of it like pouring oil into a lamp so its flame can reach others still lost in the dark. Every drop you give keeps the light alive for another soul wandering through the night you once knew too well. Even the smallest seed matters. A single drop of rain awakens a forest. A single gesture of kindness builds bridges where silence once stood. When you give, you join heaven's economy of love, where generosity multiplies into miracles. Whether you share, subscribe, or sow a seed, Let it be your free act of worship. Giving is never loss, it's echo. What leaves your hand never leaves your life, it simply returns in another form. Peace, provision, or protection. And if you can't give today, your presence, your prayer, your listening heart are offerings too. This isn't about the size of the gift, it's about the sincerity of the soul. Heaven values the posture of the heart more than the number in the hand. You've already given much just by surviving. You've given God your endurance, your resilience, your trust. But if your spirit feels that gentle nudge, that whisper that says, "Help the light reach others, follow it," that's heaven inviting you to become part of the healing chain. You are both the vessel and the voice, the healed and the healer. The oil that flowed from your pain will now anoint others. And through your support, whether in clicks, prayers, or gifts, you extend that same grace outward. So, walk forward, chosen one. Lift your chin. Let gratitude become your language. You've paid the price of pain. Now you will reap the reward of purpose. You are proof that endurance births glory, and that love, freely given, always multiplies. Rise from the aftershock. Chosen one. The shaking that once terrified you is finally subsiding, leaving behind a strange calm. You've survived storms that were never meant to end quickly. And though you still feel the tremors, peace is beginning to root beneath your feet. What tried to bury you has instead become your foundation. The aftershock always comes after victory, the mind replaying the battle, the body remembering the pain. Sometimes healing feels heavier than the fight itself. You wake up expecting the same chaos, but instead there's silence. And silence can be unsettling when you've lived too long in survival mode. Yet this stillness is not emptiness, it's renewal. You've crossed through fire and flood. The world around you hasn't changed much, but you have. You are different now. Your eyes see clearer. Your spirit feels deeper. You no longer react to every tremor because you've learned that not every movement is a threat. Some shaking is just heaven rearranging what's been misaligned. After every spiritual quake, heaven rebuilds. Broken pieces begin to find their proper places again. Old wounds close. Forgotten joy resurfaces like sunlight after rain. You start to recognize that the breaking was never random, it was reconstruction. God didn't let the storm destroy you. He used it to reset your foundation. There's a peculiar strength that comes from being shaken but still standing. You can't learn that kind of endurance from peace. It's born in pressure. Every trembling season forged your stability. You learned how to breathe in chaos, how to pray when words failed, how to hope when evidence disappeared. That's why your spirit is so unshakable now. You might still feel echoes of the old pain memories flashing like aftershocks. But don't mistake those reminders for relapse. They're simply signals that healing is still unfolding. Healing doesn't erase history. It redeems it. The scars remain, but they no longer ache. They simply remind you that grace was greater. Every chosen one experiences this stage, the moment after warfare when silence feels foreign. You might even miss the urgency of battle because peace feels too quiet. But this is where you learn to rest, to breathe again, to build without fear of collapse. God didn't bring you out of the storm just to keep you anxious about the next one. He brought you out so you could walk freely in the calm. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms. Chapter 40, verse 2. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. That's what heaven is doing right now, setting you on steady ground. You are standing on the lessons of survival, on the wisdom of your wounds, on the faith that was forged in fire. Every trembling piece of your story now supports the person you've become. The aftershock is not punishment. It's recalibration. Your body, your heart, your faith, they're learning to live in stability again. The same way the earth settles after an earthquake, your soul is adjusting to peace. It takes time to trust calm after chaos, but trust it anyway. You deserve it. You. Look closely. What once felt like rubble is becoming revelation. You can finally see the beauty in what broke. You understand now that survival was never the goal. Revival was. The storm didn't just pass. It passed through you, cleansing everything that was never meant to stay. There is strength in stillness, the kind of power that doesn't roar but radiates. You no longer need to prove your strength to anyone. Your endurance already testified. The battle was your testimony's rehearsal, and this peace is its performance. You stand as living evidence that storms end and souls rebuild. Take this calm seriously, it's sacred. Don't rush back into noise just because silence feels strange. Learn the rhythm of rest. Learn how to enjoy the days that don't demand defense. Heaven gives rest as reward to the faithful, and this peace you feel now is the beginning of that reward. Your eyes have seen too much darkness to doubt light anymore. Your spirit has survived too much shaking to ever fear collapse again. What once broke you now bows to you. The same ground that trembled beneath your feet now supports your purpose. You are not fragile, you are fortified, true. Not shaken but shaped, not empty but expanded. Everything that could fall away did, and what remains is indestructible. The aftershock was simply heaven's way of showing you that you can still stand when the shaking stops. So breathe, let your shoulders drop, let your heart rest. You're no longer fighting for peace, you're living in it. And from this point forward, every step you take will be steady, purposeful, and protected. The storm has ended. The foundation is firm, and the chosen one unshaken, unbroken, unstoppable walks forward into a new dawn. Prophetic confirmation is in the air. You've started noticing it, haven't you? The subtle repetition of certain words, the same song playing wherever you go, the number patterns flashing before your eyes. It's not random. Heaven speaks through signs when words can no longer reach the weary heart. Every chosen one reaches a season where God stops explaining and starts confirming. That's where you are now. The signs around you aren't coincidences, they're divine reminders that you are exactly where you need to be. The delay wasn't denial, it was alignment. And now, heaven is whispering, it's time. You may feel the pull in your spirit, that strange mix of excitement and holy fear. You've prayed for confirmation, and heaven is responding through symbols, encounters, even dreams. The universe seems to echo your prayers back to you. You think of someone, and they message you. You open scripture, and the exact verse you needed appears. That's not luck, it's orchestration. God is weaving your present moments into prophecy. The little details, colors, names, times, all of them hold meaning in this divine conversation. You're not crazy for noticing, you're spiritually awake. Heaven is syncing your timeline with destiny's rhythm. Don't ignore what repeats. Repetition is heaven's way of saying, pay attention. That familiar number you keep seeing. The phrase that keeps returning to your thoughts, those are breadcrumbs of grace leading you into greater clarity. The signs are confirmations, not coincidences. It's easy to dismiss them when the logical mind interferes. But the supernatural doesn't need logic. It needs sensitivity. You're not being superstitious by listening, you're being obedient. When your spirit stirs at a sign, that's heaven saying, yes, it's me. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. This means that prophetic signs are not meant to confuse or frighten you. They bring peace. When heaven sends confirmation, it won't bring anxiety, it will bring assurance. The message won't lead you into panic, but into purpose. You'll begin to notice divine timing more clearly. Doors opening right after you prayed for direction. Peace flooding in after you released something heavy. These are spiritual nods from heaven, a way of saying, you're aligned. Keep moving. Sometimes confirmation even comes through people who have no idea what they're saying. A stranger repeats your prayer back to you unknowingly. A sermon addresses the very question you asked in silence. That's not the algorithm, it's the Almighty. The more you acknowledge these signs, the louder they become. Gratitude amplifies divine communication. When you say, I see you, God, heaven answers. Then let me show you more. You become tuned to the frequency of destiny, and the signs follow naturally. But remember, confirmation comes to strengthen your faith, not to replace it. Don't chase signs. Follow peace. Signs will follow those who believe, not the other way around. Trust that what you're feeling is valid, and that God is not teasing you. He's teaching you to trust subtlety. In this moment, heaven wants you to know that everything surrounding you, the timing, the numbers, the patterns are aligning into one grand revelation. Soon, what felt like scattered hints will merge into undeniable clarity. You will see how every sign was pointing toward the same promise all along. Now, as a prophetic act of recognition, type 9999 in the comments. This isn't superstition, it's a declaration. The number 9999 symbolizes divine closure and completion, the end of old cycles and the birth of new beginnings on a higher level. When you write it, you're saying, I acknowledge the signs. I receive confirmation. I am stepping out of endings and into fulfillment. Heaven reads faith in action. Every number typed, every heart awakened becomes a signal to the spiritual realm that another chosen one is ready for revelation. Let this be your declaration: you are not lost. You are aligned. Your confirmations are not accidents. They are heaven's coded messages reminding you that everything, every sign, every delay, every whisper is converging into destiny's perfect timing. You're right where you're meant to be, and the signs prove it. When you write 9999, you're declaring that old doors have closed with grace and new ones now open in light. It's your agreement with heaven's timing, saying, I am ready. Each 9 carries finality and fulfillment. Together they form a sacred echo of completion cycles ending, promises awakening. 9999 is your signature of surrender to divine alignment and fresh beginnings. Separation of shadows has begun. It's the quiet work of heaven, the part where God removes what can't go with you into the next season. This process is never loud. It's slow, deliberate, and often painful. You'll notice people drifting, familiar voices fading, old desires dissolving. It's not rejection, it's refinement. Heaven is making sure only what's pure remains. There comes a time in every chosen one's journey when light and shadow can no longer share the same space. For too long, you've tried to keep peace with what secretly drains you. You've carried relationships, habits, and memories that no longer fit your purpose. But when God begins separating shadows, He's not taking something from you, He's freeing something within you. It's not easy to watch attachments unravel. The heart resists change, especially when it's tied to history. Yet spiritual growth demands pruning. Just as a gardener cuts away dying branches to save the tree, heaven cuts away false connections to save your destiny. You've prayed for clarity, and this is what clarity feels like: uncomfortable, quiet, yet profoundly necessary. This is why the atmosphere around you feels different. Conversations that once inspired you now feel heavy. People who once understood you now seem distant. It's not that you've changed overnight, it's that your frequency has shifted. The higher your spirit rises, the less space there is for shadows to cling. Let them leave peacefully. You don't need to chase what God has dismissed. Some people were assignments, not companions. They came to teach, to reveal, to shape, but not to stay. Others were mirrors reflecting lessons you had to learn. When their role ends, holding on becomes disobedience disguised as loyalty. It hurts because your heart is sincere. You gave love freely. And it's never easy to lose what you've poured into. But understand this separation is heaven's mercy. If God hadn't removed certain people, you might have mistaken attachment for alignment. You might have settled for comfort instead of covenant. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 10, verse 34, "Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. That sword is not of violence, it's of division between what is real and what is counterfeit." Heaven's sword doesn't cut to harm, it cuts to heal. It slices through illusion so that authenticity can breathe again. The separation of shadows reveals truth about them and about you. You start realizing who you were when you were trying to be accepted, and who you are now that you've stopped explaining yourself. This new self, stronger, clearer, quieter, is the one heaven has been waiting to reveal. You'll notice that your spirit becomes lighter as detachment unfolds. Sleep returns, peace increases. Creativity flows again. That's the proof that separation was sacred. You're not becoming cold, you're becoming clean. You're not isolating, you're being insulated for the next phase of purpose. When shadows leave, the light expands. You'll find yourself remembering who you were before you started carrying others' expectations. You'll rediscover joy not tied to anyone's approval. And in that rediscovery, you'll finally see the version of you that was buried under survival. Separation isn't loss, it's liberation. What's being removed was never yours to keep. It was borrowed for a season. Heaven knows how easily the chosen attach deeply. So sometimes it must pull gently, yet firmly, to prevent distraction from destiny. It may seem unfair now, but later you'll look back and whisper, "Thank you," because you'll see that every departure made space for the right arrival. You'll understand that empty rooms were preparing you for divine appointments. Let silence be your agreement. You don't have to announce who's gone or justify what's changing. Just walk forward in grace. Those meant to walk with you will catch the same light. Those not meant to will fall back into their shadows. Either way, love them, bless them, release them. You're stepping into a realm where purity matters more than popularity. Heaven is cleansing your circle, refining your motives, resetting your boundaries. And through this quiet pruning, you're becoming sharper, clearer, and more radiant than ever before. The pain of separation is temporary, but the peace that follows is eternal. Trust this divine surgery. It's removing infection before expansion. You are being made lighter to fly higher, freer to fulfill what you were born for. So don't fear the silence that follows the storm. In that stillness, heaven plants the seeds of your next chapter. What was taken was never yours to lose. It was heaven's way of making room for what was always meant to find you. Reversal of every curse is already underway. You may not have seen it yet, but the shift has begun. What was sent to destroy you is circling back to its sender. Every spoken word of malice, every hidden attempt to bind your progress, every dark whisper that targeted your peace, all of it is being overturned by divine authority. Heaven has declared a holy reversal, and no power on earth or beneath it can interrupt that decree. For too long, you have carried the weight of invisible warfare, nights where you felt heaviness for no reason, mornings where your energy disappeared before the day even began. That wasn't weakness, it was residue from attacks meant to stop your momentum. Yet each time, you rose, you endured, you prayed through the pain, and now the answer is manifesting. Curses lose power the moment they encounter truth. You live under a covenant of blessing that cannot be revoked. The words spoken against you may have echoed for a season, but they never penetrated the shield around your spirit. God allowed you to feel the sting only to show you how untouchable your core truly is. The spiritual laws that govern justice are in motion. Every time you were wronged, heaven recorded it. Every lie told, every sabotage endured, every loss inflicted, heaven kept receipts. Now the scales have tipped. What was meant to bury you will become the soil that grows your next miracle. The weapons were formed, yes, but they never prospered. It's important to understand that divine reversal doesn't simply cancel curses, it converts them. The very energy sent to break you becomes fuel for your elevation. God specializes in turning darkness into light, pain into purpose, and opposition into opportunity. That's why the things that once drained you are now inspiring you. You've become the living embodiment of reversal. Heaven's voice resounds through the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 5. However, the Lord your God would not listen to Balaam but turned the curse into a blessing for you, because the Lord your God loves you. That is your current reality. Every curse has been intercepted, redirected, and rewritten into blessing because you are loved. Divine affection is stronger than any enchantment. You cannot be hexed when you are held. You cannot be bound when you are beloved. Look closely at your life. You'll begin to see the reversal unfolding. Relationships that once wounded you are losing influence. Situations that drained you are being replaced by unexpected peace. Even your mind feels clearer, lighter. That's not coincidence, that's evidence. The curse has been converted. God's justice often arrives quietly, like sunrise after a long night. There is no announcement, no noise, just warmth where there was once cold. This is how heaven restores steadily, mercifully, completely. Every strand of darkness that touched you is being pulled from your atmosphere, and you, chosen one, are emerging purified. Your heart, once burdened by bitterness, is learning to forgive not out of weakness, but out of power. Forgiveness is heaven's way of closing portals left open by pain. Each time you release resentment, you cut another string that once tied you to darkness. This is why the enemy fears your peace more than your prayers. Peace proves the curse failed. The moment you stop reacting, you break every chain. You've stopped being a target and become a testimony. Reversal also means restoration. Everything lost in battle time, joy, opportunity is returning. Heaven is not only clearing what was sent against you, it's compensating you for endurance. Where the enemy stole, God repays double. Where doors closed, new ones open wider. You're stepping into abundance not as a surprise, but as a sentenced divine recompense written in your favor. There is no need to chase vindication. The evidence of reversal will speak for itself. Those who doubted you will watch the very area of your pain become your platform. Those who cursed your name will see you blessed in front of them. Not out of spite, but so they may witness the mercy of God. Be still now. Let heaven finish what it started. The storm is shifting direction. The fire meant for you is now refining those who sent it. Your only task is to remain anchored in gratitude. Gratitude seals reversal. Complaining reopens wounds. You are walking proof that light always wins. The curses didn't define you, they refined you. They made you wiser, humbler, sharper. You learned that protection doesn't always prevent pain, but it always guarantees purpose. Soon the weight of past battles will fade, and what will remain is blessing upon blessing. The reversal is not coming, it's here, quietly transforming everything that once hurt you into harvest. The crown of the overcomer does not appear with thunder. It descends in silence, woven from the unseen moments when you chose faith over fear. You may not see it, but heaven sees it shining above you now. This crown is not metal or jewel, it is spirit and fire. It was forged in the furnace of your endurance, shaped by every yes whispered in pain, polished by tears that fell unseen yet never forgotten. You were not crowned because you were perfect. You were crowned because you refused to quit. The storms thought they could strip you, but they only revealed what could not be shaken. Every betrayal, every dark night, every valley you walked through has become part of the design, each scar a thread of glory, each heartbreak a glimmer in the light. You have stepped into a new kind of strength, one that doesn't shout but radiates its quiet majesty. You've stopped trying to prove your worth because your spirit finally knows survival was never the point, transformation was. The crown isn't the reward. It's the reminder that what once tried to kill you now kneels before you. The Apostle Paul writes in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing." This promise isn't a distant afterlife vision. It's happening now, here, within you. Every time you forgive instead of curse, you polish that crown. Every time you choose compassion over bitterness, another gem is set in its frame. Heaven crowns the humble before the world even notices they've risen. Now you walk not as the wounded, but as the witness. Your footsteps echo with quiet victory. You're no longer asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, you're whispering, "Thank you for trusting me to endure." That's what maturity sounds like in the spirit. That's what sovereignty feels like in the soul. And as you wear this invisible crown, you become a mirror for others. They'll look into your eyes and see what redemption looks like. You'll speak, and peace will follow your words because you've lived the truth you share. You'll simply stand in a room, and atmospheres will change not because you try, but because you are. So if this message touches something ancient in you, if your heart recognizes itself here, let that recognition become movement. Click the heart, not as habit, but as hallelujah, an act of gratitude, a small flame saying, "I felt this." Share this light as you would pass a candle carefully, reverently knowing another flame waits to be awakened. Subscribe to the flow of faith, not as obligation, but as connection. It's how souls stay aligned when the world grows loud. And if your heart whispers that you'd like to give, don't see it as payment, it's participation. Think of it as pouring a few drops of oil into the same lamp that once lit your path. Your generosity keeps this fire alive for someone stumbling in the dark behind you. It is a beautiful exchange. Your kindness becomes their clarity. No one is watching to see what you do. Heaven does not count coins, it counts sincerity. Whether you give words, prayer, or offering, do it from love, and it becomes part of the crown itself. You can't buy light, but you can help it reach farther. And when you comment below, let it be a simple affirmation of faith, your way of saying, "I choose my crown." Not a chant, not a slogan, but a sacred whisper written in digital dust. a sign that one more warrior has laid down fear and picked up radiance. Because, beloved, this crown isn't decoration, it's declaration. It says, I survived, I grew, I became, and the world will sense it without you needing to announce a word. Now walk forward with your invisible crown held high. Let grace rest on your shoulders like sunlight after storm. You are the living proof that what tried to bury you only planted you deeper in purpose. Your story will be the roots for someone else's rising. And through your light, countless others will remember they too can wear the crown that never fades. When you write, I choose my crown, you're not declaring pride, you're declaring peace. It's your vow to rise gently, to walk with grace, to wear your healing like quiet, sacred armor. Each word becomes light, weaving unseen gold around your spirit. I choose my crown means you no longer wait for validation. You are already chosen, already crowned, already complete in divine strength. Heaven's reward phase has begun. The time of silent sowing has ended, and the harvest you almost stopped believing in is now awakening. You've prayed in private for so long that your lips forgot what answered prayer sounds like, but heaven did not forget. Every unseen act of obedience, every quiet moment of endurance, every tear sown into faith has reached its appointed season of return. There is a rhythm to divine timing. It moves slower than human desire, yet it never fails to arrive. Heaven doesn't pay in haste, it pays in fullness. The reason your blessings seemed delayed is because they were growing roots deep beneath the surface, anchoring your promise so it would not wither when it finally appeared. Now those roots have broken through the soil. What was invisible will soon become undeniable. This is not the shallow kind of blessing that fades with applause. It's the deep reward, the kind that restores what was stolen, redeems what was broken, and multiplies what you lost. You will see it in ways both ordinary and miraculous: relationships restored, opportunities resurrected, provision arriving from unexpected directions. It's not magic, it's mercy, finally visible. For years, you gave without guarantee, trusted without clarity, waited without explanation. Others mocked your patience, but heaven was counting every act of faith. The ledger of grace is never unbalanced. What you thought was unnoticed was being recorded in sacred ink. And now, divine compensation is being released not as random favor, but as justice. You will recognize the reward by its peace. True blessings don't bring frenzy, they bring stillness. The doors that open in this season will not require striving, they'll swing wide by divine ease. The same way storms once found you without warning, favor will now locate you without effort. Not because you earned it, but because endurance has a sound that heaven responds to. It is written in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. This is your due season. You fainted in spirit many times, yet never truly gave up. Heaven watched you hold the line when hope was thin, and that persistence has summoned reward. The very fields that looked barren are trembling with life again. But remember, this reward is not only material, it's internal. God is restoring not just what you had, but who you were before the disappointments came. Joy is returning. Creativity is breathing again. The spark that once flickered inside you is now blazing, purified by the seasons that tried to extinguish it. Don't be surprised when peace feels strange at first. After years of struggle, abundance can feel unfamiliar. You'll catch yourself waiting for the next battle, but this time it won't come. The fight has served its purpose. This chapter isn't about defense, it's about delight. Heaven's reward phase is also heaven's reminder all that you endured was never wasted. Every loss built empathy. Every test shaped wisdom, every valley carved humility. Now, God is returning all that was lost, multiplied through the hands of grace. The blessings arriving will match the magnitude of your battles. You didn't fight small storms, so you won't receive small miracles. There will be moments where you stop mid-breath, realizing that the very thing you once begged for is now resting quietly in your hands. Take your time to receive it. Don't rush the joy. Don't minimize the miracle. Sit with it. Let gratitude soak through every memory of waiting. Heaven doesn't rush restoration, it makes it holy. And as you step into this reward, you'll notice something else: the desire to give back. When the chosen are blessed, they become conduits, not collectors. You'll feel the pull to pour into others what was poured into you. That's how divine reward sustains itself. It keeps circulating until everyone touched by your endurance begins to bloom. You are stepping into overflow, not just in resources, but in revelation. This new peace is not fragile, it's fortified by experience. You've walked through too much to doubt God's goodness now. You are both the evidence of grace and the vessel of it. So rest now. The fight is finished, the season has turned, and heaven has remembered. What once felt like delay was divine choreography. Every not yet has turned into now. This is your time, not a test, but a testimony. The reward is here, and it looks exactly like restoration. Let peace be your proof, chosen one. You've entered the chapter written only for those who refuse to quit. The air feels lighter because heaven has shifted. The waiting is over. This is your manifested harvest. The great unveiling has begun. What was hidden for years, buried beneath confusion, pain, and waiting is now stepping into light. Heaven is removing the veil from your understanding, revealing not only what happened, but why it had to happen that way. The pieces that never fit are sliding into place. The questions that haunted you are being answered by peace instead of explanation. You are seeing, at last, what heaven was building behind the curtain. There is a sacred hush that falls when revelation arrives. It's not the noise of victory, it's the quiet of comprehension. You realize that all the chaos was choreography, that even your detours were divine. Every heartbreak was a hidden direction, every delay a disguised doorway. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned. The unveiling shows you how closely heaven has walked with you. You look back now and see the fingerprints of grace in every chapter, guiding you through mistakes, shielding you from unseen traps, even turning your broken choices into bridges toward purpose. What once looked like abandonment was actually alignment. What felt like silence was strategy. When God unveils, He doesn't just show you circumstances, He shows you yourself. The real you, the one who learned patience through pain, courage through fear, compassion through loss. You see how every experience reshaped you into the vessel you are now. The person you've become could only exist through everything you survived. This unveiling also brings clarity about your calling. You're no longer guessing why you've been set apart. The patterns of your life suddenly make sense, the unusual struggles, the strange resilience, the way your heart has always carried weight it couldn't explain. You were chosen not for ease, but for empathy, not for comfort, but for capacity. You were designed to carry light into places others fear to tread. It is declared in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This is not a poetic line, it's an awakening command. You've spent long enough surviving. Now you are summoned to stand. The unveiling is heaven's announcement that the season of concealment has ended. You are the revelation God is releasing into the world. The unveiling also uncovers relationships and environments for what they truly are. Those who were genuine will shine brighter beside you. Those who were hidden in pretense will fade without effort. It is not your job to expose anyone. Your light will do it naturally. When truth rises, shadows lose their grip. You will find yourself drawn to new paths that feel strangely familiar. That's because destiny has been calling you all along, and now you can finally hear it clearly. The noise of confusion has quieted. You're not wandering. You're awakening. The unveiling won't always be gentle. Sometimes truth pierces before it comforts. But every revelation brings liberation. Once you see, you cannot unsee, and that is a blessing. The clarity you carry now will protect you from repeating old cycles. You'll move with discernment, speaking with authority, choosing with peace. There's something else that happens during this unveiling. Gratitude replaces regret. You stop wishing the past were different. Instead, you thank it for shaping you. The same moments that once made you cry now make you wise. You realize that nothing was wasted, not even the worst days. Heaven repurposes everything it touches. The unveiling isn't just about seeing, it's about becoming. You are not who you were even a year ago. The fear that once controlled you has dissolved. The doubt that silenced you has lost its power. You are stepping into the full measure of who you were designed to be, unmasked and unafraid. Look around, even creation seems to respond. The air feels cleaner, the colors brighter. You are seeing the world through unveiled eyes, the way heaven always intended. Every breath feels like a new beginning because revelation itself renews you. There's a quiet prophecy written in your heartbeat now. The story is complete, not ended, but fulfilled. What began in confusion ends in clarity. What started with loss concludes with purpose. The veil has fallen, and the view is breathtaking. You have become the message you were waiting for. Your life itself is the prophecy fulfilled. Every step you take from this moment forward is illuminated by understanding. You no longer need to chase signs, they follow you naturally. Drawn to the light that has finally recognized itself. Walk forward, unveiled one. The mystery has become meaning. The hidden plan has become peace. And what once felt like broken fragments now gleam together as the mosaic of your destiny. And now, beloved chosen one, you've reached the end of this message, but not the end of your awakening. Something within you has shifted. You can feel it, can't you? The calm after understanding, the quiet weight of destiny resting on your shoulders. You're not the same soul who began this journey. You've walked through revelation and come out radiant. What happens next isn't about perfection, it's about connection. If this message stirred something deep in you, let that feeling move outward. Like this moment, the way you'd press a hand to your heart after hearing truth. It's not an algorithmic act, it's gratitude in motion. Share these words as you would pass a torch down a line of waiting souls. Somewhere, someone is still sitting in their own night, waiting for a sign that light still exists. Your simple act of sharing could be that spark. Subscribe not just to a channel, but to the rhythm of revelation itself. Stay connected so the flow of faith doesn't fade when noise returns. The journey of the chosen never ends. It deepens. One word, one heartbeat, one reminder at a time. And if your spirit feels that gentle tug to give, see it not as duty, but as pouring water back into the well that refreshed you. Every seed, no matter how small, becomes a thread in the tapestry of transformation. Your generosity turns echoes into bridges. It helps this light travel further, reaching hearts you'll never meet, but heaven always will. Before you go, leave a comment, just a whisper of agreement. Let the world know you've been here, that you've seen, that you've understood. Because every written word from the awakened becomes another stone in the path for those still finding their way home. You are crowned, restored, unveiled, and remembered. And now, as you rise to live this truth, may your light travel far, touching everything you once prayed for and everyone who will one day thank you for shining.